You know them, you love them, and they love you. Today, they're here to share, show, and download. Give it up and welcome the Developer Advocates.
All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you, Bill, for the intro. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Everybody having a good day one of TechEd? Yes, I love it. So I apologize profusely to the audience at home that you can't be here to actually feel the energy I'm feeling, but I'm so excited to be here with all of my developer advocate friends, colleagues. We've been doing this for years, and we're so amazed that you want to come out and share time with us and listen to us talk about code. Every time I see an audience like this, it just makes me I love what I do, so thank you so much. Speaking of who they are, yeah, you can clap for that. So I'll tell you about the format tonight. We're going to have like a cafe style. We're going to be talking back and forth. We might interrupt each other. They'll interrupt me. I don't care. But I want to introduce everybody real quick in case you didn't know who was who. At the corner table, we have DJ Q Macro. Got Mimiki. Oh, we can clap. Next to Mimiki is Antonio, very new to the team. Then we got in the back corner, Vitali. Somebody know Tom Young? Rich Heilman? We got Kevin, Daniel, Michelle, and Nico. So a few years ago, a lot of these people weren't on this team, but they were coding, and they were actually contributing to some of the same projects that you see us talk about. So it's so great to have a team like this out here for you guys. Today is all about TechEd and code, and what we like to talk about is we do this for developers by developers. So we're hoping today that I can go through a little bit of an agenda, and you'll sense that this is really a fun time tonight. We might call it an unkeynote, right, Rich?
Unkeynote.
Yeah. So what we're doing is we're going to actually, on the stage here, we're going to have some demos that we're going to go through, and we're going to talk about Devtoberfest a little later. But first, I wanted to show some highlights, or talk about some highlights from the day. And my personal highlight from the day was actually watching that keynote and being able to see all the preparation that went into it. I loved all the demos that were done by the developer advocates. I hope everybody enjoyed those as well. Now, I was going to have a clicker, but I don't know where it is. There we go. So we've got some sessions that were great. Hopefully you went to some sessions today. If you were on site and remotely, hopefully you enjoyed the sessions that were out there. I'm going to catch up and watch everything on replay that I can that I missed because I was here presenting and prepping. But this was a great session that I saw on Boost application verticalization, customization, and composition. I wanted to attend it, but I couldn't. But I think, DJ, did you attend this or know anything about it?
I did attend it, yeah. And I'll translate that title for you. Just general awesomeness, OK? This was all about, it was hands-on with CAP and CDS. And it was all about the new magic library, MTXS, which came out very recently that helps basically you build software as a service applications, vertical applications, extend them. In fact, I'm seeing some of the attendees there on the front row. Big round of applause for the guys on the front row attending the session. Woo-hoo. So yeah, it was awesome. All about being able to extend and resell, and also multi-tenancy. It's all about multi-tenancy. So it was awesome. I enjoyed it.
Thank you very much for that recap. I'll mention this as well. All these sessions that you can attend in person, the workshops that we're doing here, there are repositories out there, so you guys can play with these later, ask us questions if you were remotely and couldn't attend them, or if you're on site and you only got to attend two, and you want to see what the other ones were like. So please check those out. Next up, we had an announcement about Steampunk being rebranded as ABAP Cloud, and I can't think of anything better than to have an unscripted conversation with my manager, who, there is no teleprompter back there, by the way, so nobody knows what I'm going to say, which I love working without a net, but Tom sometimes never knows what I'm going to say. In this case, Tom, I think you can handle a question about ABAP.
Yeah, sure. Well, you know, there's a little bit of confusion or questions about what exactly ABAP Cloud is, and I think it's, you know, it's really what we've known as Steampunk and the value that Steampunk brought, which was not just putting ABAP in the cloud on BTP, but it was about the new functionality, the new programming model, the RESTful application programming model, and making it very easy from ABAP to do things like quickly create Fiori applications, have OData services created, the eventing functionality that we showed in this morning's keynote, all that great new functionality. It isn't just available in in the version of ABAP that runs on SAP BTP, but it's now available for embedded in S/4HANA Cloud, and it's available in the on-premise delivery of S4 as well. So that means wherever you do ABAP on the latest versions of S4, every one of those places has the same basic code line, basic same ABAP capabilities. So we're not going to have this split experience where some functionality is available in the cloud and some is available on a premise. That's the most important thing. But the other thing that's really important about this is actually the limitations that come with that. The intentional limitations that this is a modern version of ABAP that gets rid of a lot of old stuff, and by getting rid of that old stuff allows us to focus on the future and be able to do innovation in a way that we haven't been able to do it in the ABAP environment in the past, because we at SAP, we've had to been really careful about like changing the data model and not changing the data model specifically, because that would break so much of the custom code that everybody in the audience, your companies, have or have written for your clients. But everything about this modern version of ABAP is designed so that it's safe. There are safe ways to do those kinds of modifications. It may not be quite as easy or may feel a little bit more limiting compared to what you're used to of just being able to crack open a class and change the code that you have today. But in the long term, it's going to make it easier for our customers and partners to make enhancements and changes in a very safe way that survives upgrades, and it's going to free SAP up to make more advanced changes to our own data model and code, and that's a win-win for everybody.
Awesome. So everybody, if you have more questions for anybody here on stage and online, you can submit questions. We can't answer them during this session, but we will be available. I'm kind of spilling the beans that we have a reception next. So we'll be there, and if you want to buy us a drink, have some refreshments. I'm kidding. Refreshments are free. But we're going to, one chuckle, see? Mamiki, I just want to ask real quick, what did you think about demoing those features today? Was that fun?
Yeah, aside from some of the technical errors, I think it was really, really well to be able to see how fast and easy it was, to be able to just go in and just go right into it. I think it was really nice.
Nice. How many ABAPers in the audience out here? No one. That's so surprising. Wow. So it's about, just for those at home, it was about 80% of the audience raised their hand. So we know it's important, and on site as well, we had a lot of sessions, people digging in. I think there was a session number, where is it, 8162, Build and Extend Apps with ABAP RESTful Application Programming Model, and it was Andre Fisher and Rich Heilman. And since Rich Heilman's here, tell us what it was like and invite people to attend tomorrow on site.
Yeah, I mean, it's really easy to fill a room when it's ABAP, so we had a full room. Andre did a great job of bringing everybody up to speed on the new concepts of RAP and getting people comfortable. After that, we got them right into the system, and they were building their RAP-based applications really quickly. And if you're interested in that and weren't able to check it out today, there's a repeat tomorrow. I believe it's at 10:30 a.m. in St. Thomas B.
Awesome. Thank you, Rich. So another great thing that was happening is, I mean, look, my family puts up with me and the blue beard. I like to be front of stage. I like the attention. And front-end code, I think we've seen a lot of things about front-end code this year. Nico, can you tell us what this session was about and if it helps me at all get in front of the audience more?
Well, this session hasn't happened.
What's that?
It's for tomorrow.
This is for what?
But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Like, you know, I know.
That was just a
I know all the people that present, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's not what I do day to day, so I'm always looking forward to hearing how presenters who actually know what they're doing, how they present it, and bring it out to the world.
Nice. And when you presented today, you showed UI5, or Easy UI5, was it?
Well, that's coming up in my demo in just a
bit?
second, yeah.
Wow. So you rehearse so much, this stuff is like in my head. All right. And I can also, I don't have a teleprompter, I have notes, I should read them. All right. Next up, we're going to get into our demos. So, oh no. Kevin, can I ask you about SAP and Apple?
Sure.
You're the mobile guy on stage, right?
I'm the mobile guy.
Tell me.
There's not much to say except of strong partnership. Great to hear that it's still going on. We're all adapting the newest and greatest technology from both sides, Apple and SAP, and I'm just lucky to see and happy to see that it's still going strong, and I would encourage all of you to try out the SDK and build something cool with it.
Very nice. Thank you. Yeah, it's a very important partnership. We love using Apple devices at SAP as well. Our internal EIS department, our IT department, they do a great job deploying and managing Apple devices for us, and we run lots of apps on them. So I love using my devices, and I think I don't have the A chip that was mentioned, but I'm going to upgrade my computer to the next version next. So run apps faster.
Right.
Nice. Well, now, since I teased it, we're going to talk about doing BTP Setup Automator, some demos, kind of some show and tell. I met with this person at check-in. We're at the Mirage Hotel, and there's an aquarium behind check-in. And I love looking at fish, and one of my favorite fish that's a camouflage, kind of a chameleon, is a cuttlefish. And so I love cuttlefish because it reminds me of kubectl, which is this command when doing Kubernetes. And I have no idea where the camera is, but I'm actually wearing my Kubernetes socks today. So, DJ, you're going to talk about kubectl?
No, I'm not. Even with the socks, I'm not going to talk about kubectl. Kubectl, maybe. How many folks pronounce it kubectl? Hands up.
Oh, so it's kubectl? Maybe I misspelled it.
And how many folks pronounce it kubectl? Yes, thank you, Chris. Thank you, Chris. Okay, anyway, no.
All right, so show us what you got with the BTP setup.
Okay, yeah, so actually, before I say anything else, it's such an honor to be here. Rich Hyman has corralled us onto this stage, and it's so nice to be working with proper villains again, right? So it's awesome. So I don't know about you lovely people, but I quite often find myself setting up and managing resources, sets of resources, that belong together on SAP Business Technology Platform. And one of the biggest challenges that I have is just knowing what resources are available, where they are, but also doing that management, performing that management in a consistent and ideally shareable and automatable way, right? And another challenge is all those awesome command line tools that you need to interact with those resources, setting those up, tools like the BTP CLI and CF, the Cloud Foundry CLI, and kubectl for Kyma and Kubernetes. Yeah, John? Josh, kubectl. Stop coughing. It's quite an effort, on whatever machine I'm on. Okay, so it's in that context that I want to tell you about a couple of awesome new projects, right? A bit of a show and tell, really. So first of all, I want to tell you about the BTP Setup Automator. It's on the screen here. It's a relatively new project. It's new for most of us, and it allows us to declaratively define, easy for me to say, and automatically set up and tear down combinations of resources on SAP BTP. Not only that, it allows us to sort of share and extend those resource definitions with each other, right? Think of it like an open source version of the SAP BTP boosters. So the BTP, I'll put my glasses on. Don't hold my glasses, put them on, DJ, put them on. So it's a new project on GitHub. It's open source, Apache 2.0 license. You read it here first. And there's an awesome diagram here, which is going to do a lot of my work for me. Just think of the BTP Setup Automator as a combination of like three really cool things. You've got really easy definitions of what you want in terms of combinations of resources in JSON over here. And then you've got a container image, okay? It's a container image with all those command line tools, so you can run them wherever you are, whatever machine you're on, no setup required. Plus, also inside that image, you've got the BTP Setup Automator mechanism itself, right? So it's basically all that rolled up into a project. Let me give you an example. I'm just about ready here to start a new project. I've got almost all the resources set up. I've got, for example, a destination service with a couple of destinations as well. I've got an SAP Graph service instance. And I've also got, of course, I need a runtime, and I've chosen the Cloud Foundry, in this particular case, environment runtime, because I couldn't find my kubectl command line to create a Kubernetes cluster. Anyway, so I've got that, and how I set that up, I didn't use the cockpit, I didn't use the command line, I just defined it declaratively here in this JSON file. Okay, so what we're looking at here is a set of service definitions, as you can see, corresponding to what I just had on the cockpit. You've got the Cloud Foundry, you've got the SAP Graph service, you've got the Cloud Foundry target environment for that, and you've got the free plan there. So what is this? What we're looking at is a JSON file in VS Code, okay? Vim forever, but VS Code in this particular example. And what's happening here is that we've got VS Code I've got VS Code connected to a remote container. That container image with all the tools. That means I can open up a terminal and I feel immediately at home. And I can run, the BTP CLI or the CF CLI, for example, CF there if I can spell it, and so on. So I've got all those tools wherever I am. No more setup, no more installs or anything like that. Anyway, so the one resource that I require extra is a subscription to the SAP Business Application Studio. So I'll just add that now, okay? So all I need to do is just define that in a little bit of JSON, is a new JSON stanza here. And what I'll do is I'll say, okay, well, what is it? It's not a service. It's not a user-provided service. What category is it? Let's see. Category, it's and that's giving me a sort of an error saying, oh, I need to fill something in there. Let me have a look. It's an application. We want to subscribe to an application. What application? We've got, okay, well, I don't want that one, but thank you very much for suggesting it. We've got here, what is it called? App Studio. Can you see, I'm really hamming this up a little bit. Anyway, I don't care. I'm on stage. Also, what plan do we want? We want plan, free. Free, oh, all right, I'll stop there. Free plan, okay?
You know the answers. You're acting like you're surprised.
I'm always surprised. I've no idea what I'm doing. Anyway, you can define declaratively these resources that you need, then share this stuff with everybody else, okay? So we've got that. And the definition is now complete, and I can sort of modify that, I can share it, and I can sort of extend it whenever I want, okay? So what I'm hoping to hear from you is, wait, hold on a minute, whoa, hold on a minute.
Hold on.
Thank you, Chris. I love you. How did VS Code know about validation? How did it give me that IntelliSense to know about all the different resources and plans and region availability for all these different resources, okay, on SAP BTP? It knows that through the use of JSON schema, which, if some of you may know, it's a way of defining sets of rules to validate JSON data sets, and that's exactly what's happening here. Okay, so we've got in the BTP setup automator, we've got a fantastic schema that's got a million things in it, all about SAP BTP. Okay, and the source of this JSON schema definition is the subject of, the content of, the second initiative, okay? And the second initiative is a brand new project released today, ta-da, also Apache 2.0 licensed, and it's the BTP service metadata. It's quite a boring looking README at the moment. Sorry, Rui, wherever you are. But the really important thing is that inside this is automatically generated on a regular basis all the rich metadata about everything that's on SAP BTP. I'm going to pick, because we've been talking about this weird language called ABAP, I'm going to pick the ABAP.json resource definition, and you can see here that you've got some basic information, you've got links. That Michelle told us about all these learning resources. All the learning resources are also linked here for this particular resource. But most importantly, maybe from an operations perspective, are all the service plans. We've got the service plans, and within the service plans, we've got the data centers, the region availability. It's absolutely fantastic. There are so many different things you can do with this metadata. JSON schema is just one of them. In the repo here, we've got just some examples, some free examples of all sorts of different inventory exploration and metadata exploration in all sorts of different things using JQ and lots of different query languages. So have at it. I'm going to ask you a question to think about and then tell me later over a beer. What are you going to create with this metadata, and what are you going to automate with the BTP setup automator?
It includes the new products.
Yeah, it was updated today. So, Antonio, you say, Antonio?
No, you say.
Oh, no, you say.
No.
Basically, go on.
It was updated today.
Say it without laughing.
It was updated today.
Serious face. It was updated today with all the new products as well. So basically, it's updated automatically for us.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Thank you. Any other questions from the cafe?
I think another. I noticed that, for example, some of the environments that were prepared for the different hands-on sessions were already using the BTP setup automator. So it's something that we use internally to set up, for example, the environments that you guys are using already.
Nice.
I don't have a question, but I have a comment. I don't know why it is still so difficult to put SAP and free without smiling and without laughing, you know, these two words together. But it is possible, and I just noticed today during the work, like this hands-on session on SAP Analytics Cloud, people were like working on this, and I said, you know, that there is a free experience edition. Never heard of. And what do you mean it is free? Like, is it included in our license? No, you go, you register, you get access to this for free.
Yeah.
No. So without laughing, if you want to experience SAP Analytics Cloud or Data Warehousing Cloud for free, just, you know, do web search.
Well said.
Nice. Cool. Thank you, DJ. And I know I pick on DJ, DJ picks on me, but I mean, I've got my wife at home who loves to hear DJ talk, and she says to me every time I'm coming out here, she goes, oh, is he the one I like to hear talk? I'm like, yeah, DJ. So you have fans all over the world.
I've never been invited. When am I going to meet her?
Hey, we have beer. Come on, oops. All right, next, we're gonna move on to another great demo. Just like I teased earlier, we've got Easy UI 5 and VDI 5. So Michelle and Nico, you guys ready to take it off?
No.
Yeah.
Have fun.
You couldn't spell VDI 5 any more wrong than that.
Yeah.
Oh. Anyway.
15.
Here we go. OK, so you all saw the Las Vegas activities service that Daniel and Antonio used this morning. Well, I'm a UI5 developer, so I want to use the same service to build a SAP Fiori application. I want to use the SAP Fiori Elements flexible programming model for that, and that will help me build a beautiful application that is both powerful and beautiful in no time. And to get started, I want to use a tool that's called Easy UI5. It's an application generator, and it's open source, but it seamlessly integrates with SAP tools, for example, the SAP Fiori tools. So I already ran the Easy UI5 wizard here to generate my project. I made sure to enable the SAP Fiori Elements flexible programming model, and I made sure the project is visible in the SAP Fiori tools. I also specified the service that I want to use. I'm running it locally currently because we all know live demo network, all that. So, and I also specified the list report as my main floor plan for the Fiori Elements application, and I selected the Las Vegas activities entity as my main entity. So I already generated my project, so I will close this for now. And on the left here, you can see my project. Well, actually, I should have kept the terminal because I want to start my application now. So I'll just say npm start to start my application. Come on, come on, come on.
Hey, Nico, is it worth dragging the terminal bar a little bit further up so people can see it down the bottom here?
Yeah, sure, I will. Thank you. OK, so that's how easy it is to generate a list report, right? But we want to extend this application. And I mentioned already that Easy UI5 seamlessly integrates with the SAP Fiori tools, which is why I can go into the command palette of VS Code and search for page map. Oh, it's right there. Right, so I can see all the pages that my application currently has. Well, it's just one, right? It's just a list report. But we want to create a new page, and I want it to be a custom page. And we want to display some more details about the activity that we see in the list report, right? So I'll add this. We have a new custom page. And here on the right-hand side, I will select the flexible column layout for my application, just because I like it. And when we click the little pencil icon for the custom page, we can jump right into the XML code for my new custom page. We can close the page map for now. And in here, as far as the content for the actual, or for the custom page, how far the content goes, I want to display a little browser game that gives users a little preview of what the activity might look like. And for that, I want to use a UI5 custom control. So I already prepared some content. I'll put my custom control in here. And you can see I'm getting an error here, right? Because I'm currently using a CC namespace, which is usually short for custom control. So I will have to add that namespace right here. So now we can see the error is gone. And now all that's left for me to do is to create the actual JavaScript code for the UI5 custom control. For that, I will create a new file in the, let me first save this. I think that's helpful. And in the extensions folder, I'm going to create a new file. Well, actually, I'm going to create a new folder called control. Also very common when you develop custom controls. And that has to be gamecontrol.js. So that has to match the name of the custom control you see in the XML code. And I will paste the code in here. Obviously, I prepared that. Don't worry about the warnings for now. That's just because of the formatting. I will just save it. And I will refresh my application. Let's grab the data. And when I check out the helicopter night flight tour, I can see what that might look like. And I can start playing that game. So I'm actually currently clicking and typing, and I will die now. So that was live. But we can reset. Anyway, so that was a browser game built as a UI5 custom control, and all using the SAP Fiori Elements flexible programming model. And I think that was pretty flexible as far as building custom stuff goes. So just to recap, I used a tool called Easy UI5 to generate this application, which is open source. And I know there are at least 2 other open source tools that we can use to boost our UI5 application development productivity. And those 2 tools are for testing. And with that, I hand it over to Michelle.
Yes, thank you. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be testing the game, the custom control that Nico just created. And if you're anything like me, you hate testing. You hate writing unit tests, integration tests, end-to-end tests. It just sucks. You know they're important, but you don't like the process. And if that's you, and even if it's not, you might be as excited as I was to learn about 2 open source projects, VDI5, the SAP UI5 testing suite that utilizes WebDriver I/O, in combination with the Chrome extension, the UI5 Journey Recorder. With both of these, it is so easy to get started with end-to-end testing. And the test that I want to write will be on the button, the reset game button that Nico used, that is disabled when the game starts and is enabled after the helicopter crashed. So the first step in this process is to run the initialization. This will create all of the configurations, scripts, and other things needed for testing. And then I'm going to go into the configuration file and update the specs path, because my tests are going to be in a slightly different location than the default. And with this, all I need to do is start using the Journey Recorder to record my steps. And this is the Journey Recorder here. It allows me to record all the steps an end user might make on a web page, and will generate all the code so I don't have to do it by hand. And it's so easy to use. If I go over here to the application that Nico just created, I can open up the extension, attach the extension to the web page, and when it loads, you'll know that it's attached correctly because of these red boxes here. Now, I'm going to pretend to be an end user and type helicopter, because what he showed seemed pretty exciting, so I want to go see what all those are about. I'm going to click this go button, and I'm going to click this Grand Canyon Deluxe helicopter tour from Las Vegas. And that's going to open up this game. Now, the button that I want to test, like I stated before, is this reset button. It's disabled now, but when I start the game and crash, it's going to re-enable. And that's all I needed to do to get started with grabbing all of my steps. So I'm going to go back to my extension, stop it, add a label, and view my code. So in this scenario, there are 2 journeys. The first journey is about 75% of the steps I recorded. That was the list report that was already created in the application Nico used for Easy UI5. It contains the entering text of the helicopter to selecting the item in the list. Then the next part is the details page, which he created, that has the start button that I used to start the game and then ignored to crash the helicopter. With just 4 steps in a Chrome extension, I was able to get one of the more tedious parts of testing done in less than a minute with incredibly little effort for me. So with those 2 created, I'm going to go and actually start setting up my test. I'm going to copy these and add them to the empty files that I had created earlier. and save these, and then I can start writing my actual test. And I created this earlier just so that y'all don't have to watch me type for a very long time. With just 14 lines and the code created by the extension, I have a full end-to-end test. I open up the list report, I start the journey, which types in helicopter, clicks the button, and clicks the item in the list. And then I check and see if this reset button that's now showing on screen is disabled, like it should be. Then I start the details journey, wait for the helicopter to crash, and then check and see if the reset button has been enabled. So with that, I'm going to run the test, and it's going to autonomously open up a web page, start clicking around, typing text, opening up the game, and checking to see if these things are working properly. And with luck, and the demo gods were with me today, my test passed. So with 4 minutes, I got an entire test done and written with incredibly little effort. Because that's all you need when you're using VDI5 in the UI5 Journey Recorder. You just need to know what you want to test, click around on a web page, and assert on the things you need to assert on. So hopefully these will make testing easier to get started with for you, just like it was for me.
Thank you, Michelle and Nico. Those were awesome. And also another round of applause for the demos this morning, both of them on stage. And it's a super big deal that we get to be a part of this keynote for TechEd, and it's really nice that we got to show some code, and then we get to come back tonight and have a little more relaxed event, show a little more code. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this. Speaking of people that code that couldn't be here, I think we have a colleague named Nora that focuses on AI, and she told me she was busy pushing her latest family member to production. So anyway, I did get that joke approved by her. So Nora was busy giving birth to her latest family member, and we really miss her, and we wish she could be here. But she really loves AI and was hoping that everyone could enjoy a demo that she put together before she took a much-needed rest. So please enjoy this video.
If your poker skills are as bad as mine, you might be interested in what I did with SAP AI Core and the SAP AI Business Services. I used the object detection model of the computer vision package of AI Core and the classification model of the AI Business Service data attribute recommendation to detect the cards in my hand and tell me what kind of poker hand that is. So this is how it works. First, you need to go to your BTP sub-account and create an AI Launchpad subscription, an AI Core instance, and a data attribute recommendation instance. We then need to configure AI Core and connect all the necessary tools. In the administration area of AI Launchpad, you can manage and add your connections to your Git repository and to your Docker repository. I already registered my Git repo, my Docker credentials, and my S3 credentials. This is my S3 bucket. It contains the training data as well as the Metaflow data. Metaflow is a library to create pipelines on AI Core. The ID folders you see are the models I already trained, including the logs, metrics, and model files. Now let's create the training pipeline for the object detection task. In Python, we need to install all the necessary packages, store the AI Core and the data attribute recommendation service keys from BTP and JSON files. And for the training pipeline, we then create a workflow config YAML with the image name, our Docker secret, and our object store secret. Using the command line interface, we can now create the training Docker image with the create image command of the AI Core content package. Now we push our image to our Docker registry. With the CLI command create template, we now create a JSON file that is used by AI Core to create a scenario for our training pipeline. We need to push it to our Git repo and wait a couple of minutes for the file to sync to AI Core. To start the training job, we need to import all the necessary packages and create a connection to AI Core using our service key. We then create a dataset artifact in AI Core to reference the dataset from our S3 bucket. Then we create a training job configuration so that AI Core knows which Docker image and which dataset to use. Therefore, we need the scenario ID and the executable ID we defined in our workflow config YAML. To start the training job, we create an execution using the training configuration. In AI Launchpad, we can now monitor the training status of our model. Since this model takes a while to train, let's move on to our second machine learning model, using the AI Business Service data attribute recommendation. Training a model with DAR is super easy, because unlike before, we can make use of existing training scenarios and executables. We can just get the scenario ID and the executable ID for the use case we need via Postman from the DAR API. In our case, we want a classification model, so we use the AutoML model template of DAR. First, we create a dataset schema, as you hold 5 cards in poker. Our schema has 10 features, 1 per card for the suit and 1 for the rank. The label is a value between 0 and 9, each number corresponding to a poker hand, where 0 is meaningless and 9 is a royal flush. We then upload the dataset, validate it, and create a dataset artifact, as well as the training configuration and the execution to start the training job, just like we did with the object detection model. We can check the status of our training job via Postman. After both models are finished training, we need to deploy them. We can check their deployment status in AI Launchpad or via Postman. Finally, we can put the use case together and create a new Python demo file where we use the deployment URL of our object detection model and the name of our DAR model to access our 2 models. Everything else is just decoding the input image and some post-processing. So let's run it. And there we go. We detected the cards in our hand, and the DAR model says it's most probably a royal flush. I think that's a good thing, right?
So I love playing poker, and I'm going to try to build that model and take it out. No, I'm not going to take it on the floor. But I don't understand the cards. She had different letters for what in English it's different ace, king, jack. So I had to learn those letters if I ever play poker with Nora. So I don't know if anybody knows what country it was, why the letters were different for the face cards.
I would assume Germany, like German cards.
German?
Yeah.
Nice. Now I got to learn that to play cards over in Europe. Really? Nice. Thank you. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that video from Nora. I know she is probably up at 2 in the morning watching this because she has nothing better to do. But what I wanted to do now was actually take us back to the keynote, and one of the biggest announcements was SAP Build. And I wanted to see if we could go just into not only this session that's going to be tomorrow, AD11, or AD111, excuse me, but Daniel, can you give us some insights into what you showed, maybe touch more on, there was a section where you went into an app store just for SAP Build?
Not that section you're talking about, but the part where I went into SAP Build lobby.
Lobby, okay.
Okay, I thought you were referring to a different part of the demo, but that's okay.
That's all we have to recap, because there's so much to learn.
Okay, so we went into the SAP lobby. One thing I didn't get to say is, first of all, that it's a really good feature that we bring those artifacts all together. But really, the main thing is the sharing in that. So there's a single sharing model for all the different artifacts. And it's not just an abstract thing, but when I first made the demo, showed it to Jürgen and said, oh yeah, it's good, but you could fix it up. The UI is not so pretty, right? So I like to think that I know how to build a pretty UI, but to be honest, I really don't. So I needed somebody's help. So I was able to share it because we had this feature. I was actually able to share it with a colleague in, where are they? In Finland? Where's that guy? Yeah, I was able to share it wherever she was. Doesn't matter where she was somewhere, and she was able to do it, and she was able to fix it up. So that was really good. And the other thing is I heard that there was some sort of hackathon, and they were able to share the single project with like 10 different developers, each one doing a different page. And within a half hour, they had built this amazing complex thing because they were able to share it and collaborate. So that was really good.
Nice, so that was the lobby feature you were talking about?
That was the lobby feature.
Is there an app store as well?
Yeah, I mean, we don't call it the App Store. We SAP Build Store.
SAP Build Store, okay.
Yeah. So that was the part where you have all these templates of processes and automation bots, and it really is amazing that I was looking at all the different ways you can send mail through processes and automation bots and whatever, and I had done it through processes, but I hadn't done it through a bot. So I was able to go to the store, and there's an Outlook SDK template, and I was able to import it and run it like immediately, and I was just amazed. Like all of a sudden, I'm sending all these emails, and it just worked out of the box, and that was really helpful. So I mean, that's a really a good feature.
Nice. I'm gonna really put you on the spot here. Can you remember how many systems you tied together into that one demo? Like, was it S4HANA?
I think I tied one too many systems.
No, how many?
How many systems? Oh, there was the S4HANA cloud system, and there was Antonio's service, and we had the process automation, as a different service that we had to go to. So I think it was basically those.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you so much. I think also another round of applause for live demoing. Yeah. So very great recovery when we had a little hiccup there, and nobody even minds because we love seeing the live demos. We love seeing that we're coding on stage. Antonio, another one that you weren't ready for. Can you describe the service a little more that you did build? I know, no pun intended, the service that you built for that demo?
Yeah, well, it's Las Vegas activities. You've seen it a couple of times. So it's what Daniel used for his demo. It's also what Nico was showing. You'll see some other developer advocate using it in a bit. And it's what I was using in API management as well. So yeah, it's a CAP service. I actually built it using business application low code. So, and it's what we're using. Nice. A couple of us for demos. So,
okay, so any integration questions, people can point them your way?
Yeah, pretty much. And well, the service contains a number of fun activities that you can do while in Las Vegas. So yeah, we are going to publish the code after, I don't know when, but a couple of days.
Nice, whenever Rich tells us we can.
Yeah, yeah, so you'll be able to see it.
Cool, all right. So, next, we have, speaking of SAP CAP, we also have CAP on Kyma. So I love open source, and Kyma is a great open source project that SAP has put into BTP. And Kevin is going to go through a great demo now with the Cloud Application Programming Model and Kyma combined into one system, right?
Right.
Can't wait to see it. Thanks, Kevin.
So we're basically taking that Vegas Activities CAP service, and instead of deploying it to Cloud Foundry, we're trying to deploy it to the Kyma runtime now. And if you look at the overall architecture here, you can see it's pretty simple. We have a client connecting to our CAP Node.js-based service being deployed on the Kyma runtime. And as our persistence layer, we're having SAP HANA Cloud on Cloud Foundry runtime. And if we look at our project over here, you can see I've already built the CAP service to production. That's why we have the gen folder with the DB for the HANA deployer and the server for the service itself. And if you want to deploy something to Kubernetes, it is necessary that you provide a container image for the system to pull and actually deploy and install. And to do so, we have to understand the underlying technology behind containerization and creating those container images, also the tooling for doing that, like Docker, for example. But to make our life a little bit easier, we can use something like Paquito build packs, which is providing open source build packs which we can use to do the containerization for us. And I've already installed it locally on my machine. And now we can just simply execute a command, which is called the pack build command. And if we look at that command, we can see it's just basically saying pack build, and then the name of our container image, then the path of the files we want to containerize, and then we can specify the builder we want to use. In that case, we're using the base builder, which is always Node.js in that case. And you might notice that I have that ghcr.io SAP samples prefix in the name, and that is basically just allowing me to push that container image to a container registry of my choice. In that case, I'm using the GitHub container registry. So when you're deploying a container image to a Kubernetes-based runtime, it makes sense to have that container image within a container registry, so it can, during deployment, can pull that image from there. And if I execute that now, you can see it starts preparing everything you need for creating that container image. And I'm not letting that run through because that takes a while. And I've already prepped that. In the SAP samples organization, under packages, you can see I have that Vegas Activities DB and Vegas Activities Server. And those are both container images built with Paquito build packs. So now that I have the container images ready and have them created, I can actually work on the deployment itself. So when you're coming from application development on Cloud Foundry, you know you have to have an MTA YAML describing all the requirements you need for deploying your application service to Cloud Foundry runtime, right? And we have something similar in Kubernetes as well. We have to create a deployment YAML. And these deployment YAMLs can get quite complex the more complex your service is. And also managing dependencies can also be a little bit hard. So using something like Helm charts can make our life a little bit more easy. And Helm is really there to define, install, and upgrade your Kubernetes applications. And lucky for us, CDS has the creation of these Helm charts built into the command line interface. So we can basically use CDS to take our project structure and create and generate the Helm chart out of our project structure without us doing too much with just one one command. So we can just simply say CDS add Helm, and that will scan our project structure and create that chart folder here. And you see it has all the necessary files in there for creating that Helm chart. The only thing we got to do is go into that values YAML and fill in some metadata information, which will help Kubernetes, in our case Kyma, to understand where do I have to pull the container image from, what kind of secret do I need to connect to the container registry, and also what kind of secrets do I have to use for creating the bindings between the service and the HANA-DB, as well as the HANA deployer and AGI container. So we can just simply fill that in. Let me do that. So first of all, we got to fill in the domain of our cluster. So that's basically just a cluster name. And then the image pull secret. And I've deployed these secrets beforehand, and I just call that recrad. And then here we can define these secrets for the bindings. And I've created these as well beforehand. So that's just the Vegas Activities DB secret, and the same for down here. And then we define the repository where Kubernetes Kyma can find the container image. So that is basically just the name of that container image we gave before. So for the service itself, it's this one here. And then for the HANA deployer, we're using the same thing, just with the DB in the end. And we save that file, and now we can actually start the deployment process. And for doing so, we can execute the Helm upgrade command. And the Helm upgrade command basically says, we want to install a service called Vegas Activities out of that chart folder, because here's our Helm chart included, into the namespace TechEd22 in my Kyma cluster. So if I execute it now, and you see the authentication goes off, and then I switch over to my cluster and switch into that TechEd22 namespace, we should actually see within the API rules, hopefully, the exposed service coming up. So let me just refresh that real quick. So what it does while this is loading in the background, it starts deploying the service itself into Kyma, and it starts starting up the HANA deployer to actually create that binding. So while I'm talking, I see the API rule gets created, and if we go into deployments, we see the server is deployed. And then clicking on that link here, we can see our service is up and running within Kyma, and I can check out the metadata file. And that's how you deploy a CAP application to Kyma in just a couple of simple steps.
Nice.
Kevin, that was a lot. It was great. And I think you may not know this about me and Kevin. We hang out, and we used to be able to get into trouble together. But since I dyed my face, I'm very recognizable, and Kevin told me to knock it off. But I love hanging out with you, and I love seeing you code. And DJ, you have a question?
I've got a question for Kevin. I've never seen this before. Is that Z shell that you're using in your terminal?
Yes.
I don't think we can be friends anymore.
What's
wrong with Bash?
That's okay. You know me. I just try to make my life the easiest as I can.
We'll have to have words later.
We can talk about that later.
Is that default on Mac?
I don't care.
Well, blame Apple.
All right, I'll let you off. But
Sorry.
We'll have
Sorry
words
to
later.
disappoint you.
Behave. So,
but I was using kubectl. So.
See? I said it correctly.
Did you hear that?
What? No, sorry, I was just distracted by Chris shouting PowerShell at me. I might have to go have a fight now.
Awesome. So that was our last demo. I hate to do this again and just beg for applause. I don't think I need to beg. That was all the demos today we want to show you guys. Come on.
Josh.
I love TechEd. This is awesome. So, something else I love.
Cube control.
Huddle. So it's Devtoberfest. So we did this whole thing, Devtoberfest, a few years ago, and we tried it out just to see how it would work. We weren't sure because it was going to be this, for developers, by developers thing. It was to get people excited leading up to TechEd, and it's turned into something else. So I think we have a video.
Welcome to the Devtoberfest.
content and contest.
Hello, everyone.
You win.
Can you beat me? I'm curious.
And also, gain some badges from.
We wanted to open it up to more participation and opportunities for the community.
We have an amazing guest today.
Welcome everybody to Fun Friday event. What are you doing here?
We will close out that week with our Fun Friday activity.
It's a celebration for developers. Looks like there's a lot of information in there for everybody. Thank you for listening. I'm definitely looking forward to see you.
I don't know what that thing is at the end.
Hey.
A little bit of a fast video, but I also wanted to point out and recap a few numbers, 3, 4, 5, and 10, all right? 3 Devtoberfests that we've done. That was our 3rd annual Devtoberfest this year. We changed the format up, and over the 4-week period, we went to 5 topics with a different topic every day. So we had the ABAP, then UI, data and analytics, low code, SAP Build, and we had cloud native. So instead of doing a week-long topic, we changed it to a topic a day, repeating. And in the audience, can you guys just clap if you like that style every day? Nice. So it's your contest, it's your event, it's your learning sessions. You're doing tutorials to earn points. We want you to enjoy it. Give us your feedback and we'll change it next year. If we get enough people to say do this, do that, we'll take that feedback and we'll do another great Devtoberfest for you next year. And the reason we did it right was to not just learn, but to earn points for a contest. This year we had a great set of prizes. We had levels 1, 2, 3, and 4, where as you earn points, you moved up. There's going to be, I think, a stadium scarf and maybe a beanie hat. But then the grand prize is 10 people that were drawn out of the 70-ish people that qualified for level 4 that were randomly drawn to get to go to California, paid for by SAP, and go to the SAP offices. And they get to meet in the SAP office with some SAP executives and then spend a fun day at Disneyland. So, decent prize, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey. So, I'm going to do my best to announce the winners now, and then we'll show a quick video from one of the winners. So first up, we have Divya Jayachandran. Next, we have Joy K. Sayambu Alu. He liked one of my tweets earlier. Thank you. So next we have Rafael Witte. Wara Fadnes. Uwe Fetzer. Raymond Della Luna. Ganalan PM. Muralidhar Balachandar. And Fabian Anik. Thank you for participating. Thank you for doing this. We really couldn't have had a great contest without all of you. So now we actually have a quick video that Tom and I filmed with one of our winners.
Well, we have one of our Devtoberfest winners with us today, Uwe Fetzer, a longtime SAP community member. And it was great to see that you were both a participant in Devtoberfest and one of our winners. So first of all, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Uwe, I know that everyone joined and did 4 weeks of content. Is there something you want to highlight that was your favorite activity?
Yeah, for sure. It was the trivia quiz from with DJ. I was so close to win it, but on the finish line, a couple of seconds, I lost again a guy or girl with the handle SE71. Why?
Well, at least you lost another SAP transaction code, you know?
Yeah.
Anything you're looking for in particular on the grand prize strip?
Oh, it depends. Depends whether my wife can go with me or not, because next year we have the 25th anniversary, a wedding anniversary, and it would be so great to repeat our trip. 25 years ago, we went by train from Chicago to San Francisco, and maybe we go the backward trip this year, next year. Maybe.
Excellent. Well, that sounds really great, and we look forward to seeing you and the other 9 Devtoberfest winners in the Newport Beach offices, and then joining us for a fun-filled day at Disneyland. So, congratulations once again.
So looking forward to it. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Ooh. So, great event, great winners. Congratulations again to everybody. Mazel tov. It was a great time doing Devtoberfest. We hope you enjoyed it. And look, tomorrow, TechEd Day 2. So there's a lot of stuff to talk about for tomorrow in the Business Applications keynote. And I hope everybody virtually attends a lot of sessions as well and enjoys everything. But starting off with the keynote, you're going to have Thomas Sauersig. And then we're going to move on to Meg Baer. And then we got Ritu Bhargava, Jan Gilg, Mohammed Alam, Philip Herzig, Jim Giles, and Craig Cook. So a jam-packed keynote just like today, another jam-packed keynote for everybody. If you're attending sessions virtually, I really hope you enjoy everything. And if you're in the room here, and I apologize to you that are not in the room, I got 3 minutes I can hold you here before the reception, or I can let you go and you can then go to the reception and then the hacker night. I know that you love hearing the developer advocates talk, and what we want to do is make sure we point out when we're talking remotely, virtually, we have our YouTube channel. We especially love to put out the developer news every week. So please make a note to watch our developer news that we put out on the YouTube channel, SAP Developers. And if you want to join us over in the reception, that's going to be for an hour. And in the same room, once that's done, we're going to just migrate to the back and have a fun-filled hacker night. We're going to go through a lot of games. There's going to be a movie playing. I mean, I can't remember all the stuff that's happening. Is there anybody who wants to remind me? Is there something else going on? Is that it?
Games, board games, Raspberry Pi, lots of fun stuff to do.
Kevin and DJ fighting in the corner.
DJ is doing a quiz show.
Quiz show again?
Quiz show again.
Yeah, okay.
Quiz show and a movie.
Uh-oh.
Quiz show and a movie.
Quiz show,
We're showing a
quiz.
movie.
Nice. Yeah. So, everybody have fun?
Woo.
So, I say it a lot. I'm humbled. Really appreciate the opportunity to talk to everybody. If I could ask a favor of you, can I get everybody on stage to join me for a selfie with you guys in the background? You okay with that? Thank you. And I need Daniel's long arms to hold the selfie camera.
Oh, no.
Charlie special.
No, Daniel is taller than me in our team.
Why am I?
Oh, man. Wait.
I'm so small.
How are we going to do this?
Yeah.
Is this going to work?
Okay, but he doesn't know how to do it.
I don't think this is going to work.
This is the one thing we didn't rehearse.
Fingers in the way.
Where's everybody? Which finger? Which finger's in the way?
No, it's the front camera, so it's
Oh, gosh.
Just
turn
use the
around.
terminal.
You're covering the
Nico
camera.
just got upgraded.
Anyone can send him a tutorial how
Covering
to.
the camera.
do it one-handed.
Push it that way.
You have to click the button.
All right, everybody wave. Everybody
Yeah.
wave.
We got one. Jürgen, you going to help us?
Oh, wow.
Whoa, what is this?
We needed it.
Oh, wow.
Thank
We
you.
have a board member on a chair. This is awesome.
Don't tell security.
So Jürgen, are you taking a selfie of yourself? Or?
That's too dangerous. Can you come a little bit closer?
Sorry.
Very nice. Very nice.
Thank you.
Hey, we're going to throw these out here. Anybody that wants to take it home, take it home.
Oh, please
All right,
take
everybody.
it home.
I'll take
That's a
one home.
wrap. Thank you.